So I've got the Bobcat loaded up on a trailer, ready to go out on a job tomorrow. Since I have it up on a trailer in a nice flat area, I thought it would be a good time to address two common questions that I always get from customers or from people who are just interested in forestry mulching. The first thing being, how close to the ground does the cutter cut? Which is a very good question for a multitude of reasons. The second question I normally get is, what actually is the capability of this? What kind of material will it cut? So I'll answer those two questions now while I've got it here. So the first question is, how close will it cut? So now this is a forestry mulcher, and it's manufactured by Fecon, F-E-C-O-N. And this particular model is manufactured for Bobcat. There are several different types of forestry mulcher attachments or heads that will fit on skid steers. Fecon also makes the industrial giant size forestry mulchers too, that go on larger machines or on excavator type machines that you might see along highways or doing power lines and things like that, the industrial size stuff. But this particular size, 60-inch cutter, 60-inch wide as far as the blade cut. And let me show you, I've got this 2x4 that I've measured off in inches, so up to 3 inches. So I want to show you. So this blade is almost vertically down, and it's about 2 inches off the ground. So what that is so this forestry mulcher comes with a skid plate. When the skid plate is in this position where it's flush, that's where it's normally run along the ground, the lowest your cutters are going to get are about 2 inches off the ground. But it also has this position, so you can rotate this cutter head forward onto this flat plate, and I'll show you what that'll do. So when you rotate it up to this plate, now these are additional skid plates that I had welded on that are better for abrasion tolerance, but regardless of that. So when you roll it up to this flat part of the blade, and I'll roll this flat, you can see that the cutter tooth extends past that about 1 inch. So depending on what you're doing, normally you're just running it along the flat skid plate. The ground and the dirt is usually not level, so the teeth are a little closer to the actual ground level. But if there's something that's there that you need cut a little shorter, like some tree stems or stumps, you can roll this head forward onto this plate, and you can see you'll get this much cut essentially below the surface of the soil. So why is that important to people? Well, it's important to a lot of farmers or landowners who, after they clear their property, they want to be able to mow it. So whether you're running a riding mower or farmers are going to have their tractors, of course, they don't want stumps sticking up, or they don't want cut off stems of trees, and I'll show you why. So this is a piece of a tree stem. This is about a 1-inch diameter. So you probably wouldn't run over something this big with a lawnmower, but a tractor with a bush hog on the back And for those who don't know what a bush hog is, it's basically a heavy duty larger mower that goes on the back of a tractor. And a bush hog is usually designed to cut material that is between 3 and 4 inches in diameter. So this is 1 inch, but they are designed to cut up to 4 inches. Now, depending on the person whose equipment that is, they may not want to run over trees that are 3 and 4 inch diameters, because essentially you're running the tree over, which kind of, you're going to run the tree over, it's going to go underneath your tractor, and then it's got to go into your mower deck. And what normally happens with a bush hog is, after the tree is bent over, the blade will at some point cut the tree, whatever diameter it is, and then this piece of the part that's remaining will pop back up. So I've been told by a lot of farmers that even material this big, sticking up out of the ground 4 to 6 inches, and it'll have a point on it after it's chopped off, that even that will puncture a tractor tire. So it's certainly stuff you don't want to run over with a riding mower. And farmers, I know, don't like running over stems or stumps of trees that are 4 to 6 inches that have points on it. So that's why it's important for that. Now, so what this will do, this forestry mulcher, it'll cut material. This is designed, again, this is on a Bobcat, a T770. This is a 92 horsepower machine. It's got high flow hydraulics, and you need high flow hydraulics to push any type of forestry mulcher head. This machine will cut anything from just high grass to material or trees that is 6 to 8 inches in diameter. That's what this machine is designed for, material that's up to 6 to 8 inches in diameter. And the benefit to this, especially for farmers, is once that material gets too big for them, where they're comfortable running over with their tractors and their bush hog, this is the next level of machine you go to. So this will take down everything up to 8 inches in diameter. And as I just showed you, even if it's leaving a stump or stem trees, you can cut that down flush with the soil. So in the future, while you're mowing it, either with a riding mower or a tractor, you won't have any problems with pointy stems of the tree still sticking up. Or if it's, say, a 6 or 8 inch stump, you don't want to leave that stump 4 inches off the ground, say if you were chainsawing it. But this will cut it flush with the ground, so you won't have any problems running over it, and it won't be a bother to you to run over. And eventually that stump, in most cases, there are a few trees that will sucker and start growing out of a stump again, but most trees the stump that's left in the ground will just rot away over time. So, talking about design, you have your lawnmowers. You don't want to run over material like this to cut. So if you have things bigger than that, then your option, if it's, say, 3 to 4 inches in diameter, if you have trees growing out in your fields, you can get a tractor with a bush hog. That would be the most economical way to do that. But if you do have material in there that's it's either bigger than at 3 inches or whatever, up to 8 inches, a forestry mulcher is the machine that's designed for that. But again, what this, the benefit this has, if you have smaller material that a tractor won't give you, is a tractor with a bush hog, the blade deck is still going to cut whatever you have there about 3 to 4 inches high off the ground. So if you do have tree stems and things like that, you'll be left, or even tractors are left with that kind of stobble, they call it stobble, or a stem sticking up out of the ground. So we'll walk over here just to give you an idea of the size material. So still have a couple of I guess sycamores here, just to give you an idea. So that's roughly a 6-inch diameter at this height. At the base of the tree, it's probably a little closer to 8 inches. So this would be the type of tree size that this machine can handle. As you can see, if it's 6 inches, it's still about 40 feet high. It's a pretty good sized tree, but this is kind of a mid-sized tree. And how the forestry mulcher will work cutting this down, just to give you an idea, would be to roll up to the tree, raise the boom up. It goes up to 11 feet, maybe about that first branch up there. Push the cutter into the tree. The top half of the tree will normally fall forward. And then the rest of the trunk that's still standing, you just lower the drum down to the stump. And then if you go back and forth over it a couple times, it'll grind it level with the ground. And then the top half of the tree that's remaining, you just roll over it, pull it into the drum. It'll mulch it up as it goes through there. Might have to go up on it once and back on it, and it'll be gone. So a tree even this size, and this is a I call this a 6-inch diameter tree, but the bottom is 8, and it's about 40 feet high or so. This tree would take less than a minute really to turn into this kind of mulch that you see on the ground. So it's very efficient. It's a good way to clear up land and even pastures and things that have been allowed to get away from you for 2, 3, 4 years. The material is still pretty good. Good size. It's too big for a bush hog, but this is the right machine for that type of application. So I hope some of this stuff was informative for you. If you liked it, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and give me a thumbs up, and I'll get more information out there that's helpful to people as I come along. Thanks. Have a great day.